I would like to start with introducing myself. I am Nupur Chitalia, and I've been studying Vallabh Vedanta at Mumbai University from last 2 years, just finished my second year actually. And I am a filmmaker by profession. I work at University of Toronto and I stay in Toronto, Canada. So I would ask Krunal to introduce himself.
Thanks, Nupur. So I'm Krunal. I live in Pittsburgh, US, and by profession, I work in a supply chain management firm for the system called SAP. And I'm also Vallabh Vedant student in the second year from University of Mumbai. And we have been doing this for the last 2 years. It's been really fun. It's all virtual. And that's one of the ways we actually got to know a lot of very curious youth. So I think I'm very excited to be part of this team, to welcome you all. And my hobby or fun fact is that I like to watch a lot of short videos on TikToks and YouTubes and the late night shows on TV. Yep, that's me. Welcoming you all on to the Albay.
Thank you very much, Krunal, and thanks, Nupur. Hello, everyone. My name is Dhaval Patel, and I am based in San Francisco, and I help people solve the problems using machine learning and artificial intelligence at Amazon. Very excited to be over here and helping you all with Pushti Youth Learning Series. Fun facts about me. I like singing, I like reading, and I like to watch short Hindi serials, though they are not short nowadays. But I love Tarak Mehta Ka Ulta Chashma.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good night, wherever you are. Actually, મારું નામ મિતેશ છે. હું અહીંયા ટોરોન્ટો કેનેડામાં છું. બાય પ્રોફેશન આઈ એમ એન એન્જિનિયર. અને એ જ રીતના કુણાલ અને નુપુરે ઇન્ટ્રોડ્યુસ કરે એ પ્રમાણે હું અહીંયા વલ્લભ વેદાંત કોર્સમાં સેકન્ડ યરમાં કમ્પ્લીટ કર્યું છે. અને આઈ એમ એક્સાઇટેડ ટુ જોઈન ધીસ પુષ્ટિ youth online. We welcome all of you, actually specifically youth, to this actually Pushti Youth online interactive session study group. Thank you very much. And my hobbies, by the way, is actually my hobbies is reading plus actually listening to Indian classical music. Thank you very much.
Now, I'm just going to walk you through what this session is all about, and starting with a vision statement. Basically, I've personally learned that to know where you're going, you have to understand where you come from. You have to try to know where you come from. We have to try to find our roots. I moved to Canada around 2 years back, and I met so many people from different culture who knew so much about their own culture and where they come from, and they were so proud of it. And I knew India from growing up in India. Most of my life, I knew India from a distance. But meeting with so many different cultures, I realized there's so much I don't know. And so one of the most important things here that we're doing here is this a vision statement is to build a strong foundation for every Pushti Margya Vaishnav, especially the youth, to learn, believe, and follow the true principles of Pushti Marga said by Sri Vallabhacharya. There are so many misconceptions and incorrect notions about what Pushti Marg is, and we just see the rituals on the face value, and we think that this is what it is. We've seen our family members, our dadis and nannies doing some ritualistic practices, which does not make so much sense. Like, why do they want to get up at 3 a.m. and to bathe and start praying and worshiping? It did not make sense to me back then. But one thing is that blind faith and blind rejection, they are two sides of the same coin. The previous generations, a lot of times they had blind faith and they started doing their rituals because they were told to, because their ancestors did that. And our generation, like including myself earlier, I just blindly rejected so many things, so many religious beliefs and rituals without actually learning what they truly are. What is the psychology, philosophy, science behind it? I just blindly rejected so many things. And so before rejecting any theory, forget about religion, any theory about science, about history, about economics, anything, I think it is only right to know what it is, to really see for yourself what it is, and to research, to deny something, to reject something based on facts, based on your research, rather than just face value. So we want this to be especially targeted towards youth, because there is big lack of resources for resources that would appeal to youth to study the subject, to study Pushti Marga, which is a beautiful, beautiful theoretical and practical path for us to follow and like face the challenges of daily life. And youth can be actually trailblazers to build a good today and tomorrow using these theories and principles and philosophies. Next is our mission is to create awareness among the youth to scientifically learn the philosophical aspects of Pushti Marga preached by Sri Vallabhacharya. So one great thing about really good scientists is that they don't reject theories of unknown or what they don't know based on what they know. There is like we're just looking through a small keyhole to the entire universe. There's so many spectrums of light that we don't see. We just have a very small visible spectrum. There's so many frequencies of sound that we don't hear. There's so many species we don't know. We just live in a box actually of our own. Our reality is very limited. So Aristotle in 350 BC set out to prove the spherical shape of our Earth, which was popularly believed to be flat. And it is a very bold thing to go against popular beliefs. But then, based on things he experienced, looking at the stars, the constellations in different positions, and the fact that you couldn't see the stars as they are from different parts of the world. So if it was flat, you would see you'd see the sky the same way, but you keep seeing different things. So that is what led him to prove that Earth was actually a sphere. Earth is actually a sphere. So we want to have an interactive approach where we form a dialogue and like talk to each other. That we don't want this to be a monologue. Right now I'm talking, yes, but I'm going to emphasize on the fact that this has to be a dialogue where we share what we have experienced in the subject matter. I'm sorry. So another is like, it is again targeted towards the age 15 to 40, because this is a very unique generation, and this by no means does not say that if you are out of this age group, you're not allowed to participate. No. It is targeted specifically towards this age group because it's a unique generation. The thought processes are very critically driven, and we are in a unique place to build a better world for future generations, for ourselves. And we are facing so many challenges with climate change, mental health challenges, what artificial intelligence is doing to us, like the dependency that we have on our black mirrors, right? I don't know if you watched that Netflix show. Everyone who binge watches Netflix, I love that show. And like it is like, computer has been friend and foe to us at the same time, simultaneously. So recognizing how we are behaving internally with the external world, it is so important in this particular generation to use the resources that are available in the right way. And we would like to create, develop and refine study materials to create a strong library which can be accessible for anyone who's interested to learn about this, because there are so many things online, and it can actually divert you from your actual direction that you're going. It's good to have a sense of direction and a good source of study material to know the path. Then next is our purpose. To bring together the youth from around the world who have interest in learning true principles of Pushti Marga. Now, you don't have to have like really strong interest. It can be just slight curiosity. Like, why do my mom or dad or grandfather or grandmother do this uprush? Why do they do seva? Why, like, you have all these questions, like you are always questioning your parents, why do you want to do this? Why do you want to only eat prasad or something? So like, if you want to healthily counter the theories that Pushti Marga kind of proposes or preaches, so you're welcome here. Again, like, I'll say again that this will be a place to have interaction with one another, to learn from one another, to expand our perspectives and diversify our perspectives, so that we can grow holistically and not just like in a single direction or two directions. Then create a platform to discuss the principles and practicality of Pushti Marga. It's like, okay, someone has some interest in ritualistic practices of Pushti Marga, like doing seva every day. But how realistic it is, how practical it is to actually get up early in the morning before our jobs would start at 7 a.m., 8 a.m., or colleges start early in the morning. How exactly do I pull off doing seva every morning if I'm to follow the path of Pushti Marga? It does not seem realistically possible. So I feel like, once you know the why, how and what becomes easier. Stronger intent makes for stronger actions. So you do it or not, that's one thing, keep it aside. It's important to know why are you doing something. What is it that's driving you to do something? Then we would like to create an unbiased environment for embracing cognitive diversity and cultivating empathy through group work. We all have so many conscious and unconscious biases, and we would try to mindfully attempt to keep an unbiased environment, which would be driven by empathy and like respect for all. Develop a strong philosophical understanding of Pushti Marga in context of major sampradayas. Hindu Dharma, more accurately known as Sanatan Dharma, is a vast ocean. Like, there is so much literature on this. There are so many practices. There are so many people who have their own sets of beliefs. It's a very diverse religion. So where does Pushti Marga stand in all this? Like, if you are keen to know about the subject, it has to kind of make sense in the whole puzzle. So understanding the principles of Pushti Marga in other sampradayas, basically. And then collectively exploring and understanding importance of our Vedic culture and traditions. So one thing our schools have done is they have obviously benefited us a lot, but at the same time, our schools have restricted us from having an open mind to other knowledge systems, other sources of knowledge systems, especially like I have like always been apprehensive to study our ancient literature, Vedas, and they have been like deemed to be mythological by years of invasion from different different parts of the world. 10,000 years of invasion is what we've faced, and that is what has led us to believe. I was one of them to actually look down upon our own regional languages, Hindi, Gujarati, and glorify English. I am using English right now. This is what the school has done for me. Gujarati mane try karvi pade mindfully use karwa mate ke acha Nupur have Gujarati use karo, especially in something like this. And so I mean, it can help us in so many things. Like Vedas is such rich source of knowledge. Like, for example, if you look at Mahabharata, it has so many complex characters. It helps me make better films, like to study these characters. I'm a filmmaker, so I can, like, really, like, the storytelling is amazing. The whole context, how the grandeur of the Mahabharata is beautiful. So there are things to learn from these texts in any subject, be it science, maths, economics, geography, politics, name it, and it's there. We come from really strong background. We cannot undermine, we cannot underestimate the power of this and what it can do for us. And then, as I mentioned earlier, busting myths and misconceptions about Pushti Marga. Even people who have been devout followers for so many years, uh, they have done so many practices, like going to Haveli. Actually, Mahaprabhuji never wanted anyone to go to Haveli and do puja, do worship, do this, do that, do utsav, do manorath, and all those practices. I mean, Mahaprabhuji never intended anyone to go to another place. Mahaprabhuji wants us to have our own personal gods, which we'll get into once we start talking about the subject in detail. But there are so many misconceptions as to why things are the way they are, and why things have come to be the way they have come to be, and what is the actual intent, what was the actual intention of Mahaprabhuji, and how we can benefit truly from what he wanted to tell us. Next is the themes and topics that we would be talking about and like discussing here would be science and religion, history of Pushti Marga theories, Vedantic systems, philosophies, comparative studies with other religions and other practices, devotion rituals, and more. Um, so please feel free to invite family members who would be interested to join something like this, would enjoy or benefit something like this. We would invite, so it's not just the four of us who are kind of conducting these sessions, we're just facilitating them. We would invite guests who are experts on subject matters to discuss this so that we can learn more. And we just have collectively, we have an ability to curate the resources and get access to the subject matter experts. Next is the session etiquettes. I'm going to emphasize that these need to be like highly interactive, like share your knowledge, share your challenges, share your stories, ask questions, like have healthy debates. It's We don't want this to be a traditional classroom landscape. Think of it as a roundtable discussion, because everyone can offer a lot of value by actively participating. There are no stupid questions at all. There are no stupid arguments. We're here to collectively learn. We should embrace knowledge and try to like learn and not be adamant on like, oh no, this is how it is, this is how it is supposed to be. No, please maintain respect and empathy towards other participants during debates. I know sometimes it can get to a heated point, but like, there are effective ways to disagree with people. So let's try to do that. We promote diversity and inclusion in participants and the discussions. So it's like great to have diverse perspectives. That's how we will grow. Like we think how we think is the right way to think. That's not like, there is a very famous theory by Adam Grant. I don't know how many of you have read Think Again. So he talks about how most of us think like a politician, prosecutor, or a preacher. A preacher being like, okay, this is my theory, this is right, and you should maybe like have this theory for yourself. You should start believing this. Prosecutor is like, this is my theory, your theory is wrong, I'm going to prove you wrong. And politician is like, he doesn't necessarily believe his own theory, but just saying that he believes this theory is going to benefit him in certain way. So he will just try to impose his theory on others without necessarily feeling strongly about it themselves. And Adam Grant says that we should all try and think like scientists, that we should be happy to be wrong, like, because it is going to challenge our thought process, and it is going to help us to expand the thought process, to expand our learning. Oh yeah, it could be this way as well. Maybe what you're saying is right. Now that would be a healthy premise to have debates, that I'm happy to be proven wrong if you can convince me that this is the better way to think, or this is how your fact-based research is helping me to see things differently. It's always a good thing. And we welcome volunteers. There'll be so many things to do here. So any sort of participation would be amazing. It'll be great. It'll be of great help. This is the first session that we are doing, and there'll be many more to come. So anyone who would be willing to volunteer, thank you so much. We will wait to hear from you. Now I'll pass on to Krunal to talk about a survey that we conducted a couple of months back. So on to you, Krunal.
Thank you, Nupur. Thanks for all the good stuff, all the purpose and all that. I think you guys must be excited hearing that all. And again, I think we are all fluid, right? I think we can change as we go and adapt to the practices that I think, or methodologies that you are interested in. So this is a survey that I think we conducted like a few months ago. You guys, thank you for participating and submitting your answers. I know that a lot of people are probably not there right now, but I think we were very excited looking at the numbers, because this is what we were expecting as well. The first question that we asked necessarily is that youth is currently educated in certain methodologies in certain ways, right? Family, community, or maybe some online presence. And if you think that there is a way, there is a need to enhance all that, and the answer was 97% almost, right? That yes, that we need to enhance our ways, and we agree completely with that, because our lives have changed a lot with technology, right? So in last 10 years or 15 years, so we need better ways, enhanced ways to learn about our sect. The next question was about, please. This is the second question, right? So yeah, the question was, do you feel a need to refine the study materials for youths in Pushti Marg? And again, we were not surprised, but actually we were very excited looking at the numbers. 95% said yes, that all the study materials we have, we need to basically refine all those because we have changed a lot again with the technology. So this is also one of the encouraging response we received. And the next one, please. And this is actually one of the ways that we are educated. I think, as I said, families or communities, or maybe certain places. But here, I think we saw that a lot of us would want to learn about Sampradaya is from the virtual webinars, live Q&A sessions, and basically all the discussion sort of thing. So I think this is what we were promoting as well. We just don't want to be the 2 people or 4 people talking. We want everybody to start talking. And that's all. The virtual presence, I think, is gonna, we have all the technologies to make that happen. And this was a very encouraging answer as well. 70%, more than 70% said, yes, we want to be doing the online teachings and virtual sessions. And take it from me, last 2 years, we have been doing this university course. It's all virtual, right? And it has been really great. Although in the beginning, there will be always some technical hurdles, but it has been really nice doing this, sitting at your home, right? So I think we will be looking forward to more of those sessions, but more interactive. That's gonna be our goal. So next one, please. And the topics. So the topics you already saw, but as you see, and again, I think that the reason for targeting 15 to 35, no offense, but was more like, certain topics are more intertwined in our lives. Science is predominantly there in our lives, right? I think technology, the presence of technology and all the social media and whatnot. We have, so science and religion, I think most of the time we see that they are either conflicting, complementing, and in everything in between. So more than almost a little bit 70% I think are interested in learning about those topics. Then philosophy, history. We were very excited to see these numbers for these 3 topics. And then there are other topics for devotional aspects of it, literature, theology, and the comparative study. So I think we are going to touch all those, but I think the first three that you see on there, the science and philosophy and the history, I think, yeah, we are going to touch more on those. And again, we are going to just basically, curate our sessions as we go. If we feel a need, then we'll just change it. The next one, please. And the language, I think, yeah. So again, I think most of our session today also was in English, but English and Gujarati, I think we saw the participants saying Gujarati but important છે, right? And most of them understand Gujarati. આપણે બધાને Gujarati, I think mostly સમજમાં તો છે. Hindi and others like Braj Bhasha or not, we will try to minimize those. But English and Gujarati, language is just a mode of communication, right? Language is not going to be, should not be a barrier. આપણે ગુજરાતી અને ઇંગ્લિશને જેટલું બને એટલો પ્રયત્ન કરીશું કે એને આપણે ઇન્કોર્પોરેટ કરી શકીએ, કારણ કે at the end of the day our goal is to learn and not learn just in language. Should be just a mode of communication, right? એનો કોઈ barrier હોવો જોઈએ નહીં. And we can basically arrange our sessions based on other language no કોઈ feedback. So again, I think this is what I think some of the answers were. Thank you everybody for participating in this. And now I would open the floor to anybody who has, so કોઈને કોઈ પોતાનો experience share કરવો હોય, કોઈ એવી journey ના આવા કોઈ experience રહ્યો હોય કે જે you want everybody to know, or if you have any questions, definitely please raise your hand, or you can put your questions in the chat box and we'll be happy to answer those. Anybody has any experience they want to share, that something funny, something interesting, something that everybody could benefit from?
Krunal bhai, I think when somebody is asking to explain about Vallabh Vedant, maybe you can start with that.
The Vallabh Vedant. So yeah, we are. Do you want to go ahead, Bhavin? I think you also got experience there.
No, I think better. You or Mitesh bhai should go, I think.
I'll start, and I'll start. You guys can jump on. I think we have a lot of those who have been doing this, right? So 2 years ago, I think I had been always interested in learning, because the thing is, what we mostly learn is from the books or some of the YouTube pravachans, so to speak. કોઈ યુનિવર્સિટી અત્યાર સુધી એવો પ્રયત્ન નથી કર્યો કે આ કોર્સને એ રીતે ફોર્મલી પ્રેઝન્ટ કરે, જ્યારે બીજા ઘણા એવા કોર્સિસ છે. Even in US, I've seen in some of the universities you can learn about other philosophies, right? Other theologies. But પુષ્ટિ સંપ્રદાય માટે એવું ખાસ જોવા મળ્યું નથી કે કોઈ યુનિવર્સિટી એને ફોર્મલી પ્રેઝન્ટ કરે. And the benefit of that is basically our mindset change થઈ રહે છે. You don't listen to it as like, some of the typical mode of like bhajan satsang sort of thing. You are actually sincerely looking forward to understand જે topics છે, જે બી આપણી theme છે, જે બી philosophy છે. તો આ એક mode છે કે which actually encourages us to actually participate more, to learn it in a sincere manner, versus like learn it as like, okay, theology wise. So university platform was very encouraging for not just me, I think for many of us. It was purely study, purely asking questions, resolving all the doubts, and that platform was, I think, very, very much beneficial. And that's one of the reasons I think we are also more interested in encouraging more platforms where we can actually put out our doubts, right? We don't have to hesitate. And age અહીંયા એક main goal છે કે કોઈ બી hesitation વગર you can come forward and ask questions. You won't be judged. We don't want to be judged, okay, how can put you out a बहुत stupid question હતો. We don't want any of that. We want to be very open-minded. And that's one of the reasons we are doing this. So university was one of those platforms that actually gave us that kind of experience. And I think others might have the same feelings. If you have anything else, Bhavin or Mitesh bhai, if you want to go ahead adding on to that.
I'll just share my experience to everyone here. Okay, so basically, as Krunal bhai just said, like I would say like 2 years ago, before we started this course called Vallabh Vedant, so we had a different perspective of our Pushti Marg, right? We saw like, okay, we are as we said, like we are watching some videos, so we are listening only about Bhagavad, Srimad Bhagavad, કે અચ્છા ભાગવત કથા કરાવી, આ તે કરવી, ઘરે સેવા કરવી. But we didn't know the other perspective, like what is the science behind this? What is the logic behind this? Those things we were never explained probably. See, me being in Bangalore, we hardly touch with any of the Vallabh. So we hardly get to see any of our Guru or Vallabhul. Right? So we were not given the opportunity to interact, to understand on day-to-day basis. So that is something that we've always felt that there is a gap. So we hardly get to go to say Gujarat or Mumbai maybe once in a year or once in 2 years. So we don't get opportunity to meet and kind of gain the knowledge out of that, right? So this very course was like a boon. Especially, I would thank Corona for it. Maybe there are bad things that Corona has done, but I would say the one good thing that Corona has brought is it has made this Vallabh Vedant course go online. So the course was going on in Mumbai University in offline mode all these years. I think close to 15 years, I guess. So, but because of the Corona, this whole course came online, and that was like a big boon for people who are not based in Mumbai. I think Krunal Bhai and Nupur and everybody would agree, right? Like staying apart from, I mean, away from the city of Mumbai, we would still be able to kind of gain the true knowledge of what Pushti Mark is, right? So we got very basic understanding, right? From like what is not just what is Pushti Mark, but what other marks are, what are the other religions, not just Hinduism. We also learned a little bit about Christianity and Islam also. So nothing wrong in learning those things. It gives us an even more deeper insight, like why we should follow our mark. Now that we learned all that, my faith in Pushti Mark has increased a lot, I would say. Right? So that is a very nice way of kind of conveying what the Pushti Mark does or offers, basically. Right? So that was my experience. And going ahead, it's been a 3 years course, right? So first year we did a certification which had very basic, which gave basic knowledge about all the religions, other religions, and comparative studies, and also about Pushti Mark. And in second year and third year, it goes deeper in our Pushti Mark itself. So there are a lot of things, a lot of study material to read about, and it's a very good course to learn that in an online mode. So maybe you can explore more, or we can share more details as we go ahead to people who are interested in joining in the next year, maybe, and they can take a call if they want to join. So that's it from me. Thank you. Jai Shri Krishna.
Thanks, Bhavan. Beautifully explained. I think Jignaji, you want to go? You want to share the stories?
If you have any question other than anything, just feel free to share your experience. It's very important. I think this is a very interactive session right now we are doing, and nothing like you just want to say something about yourself or your experience. Please feel free to jump in now. I think it's very important.
Jai Shri Krishna, I just wanted to ally with Bhavin Bhai that Corona is a real blessing. There are many other bad things happening, but this was the best thing that happened, that I joined Vallabh Vedant. And for Pushti Marg, I wanted to say that I was basically a religious person since childhood, but I never knew that there is something like Pushti Marg. Vallabh Kul used to be just next door to us, the next building. But when people used to go for their Charan Sparsh and all those things, I never used to go. I said, how can you just go and touch their feet? And, but now since I've understood, and the first thing that had come to me that I wanted to learn something about Pushti Marg was the day I started learning Kirtan. Kirtans was so beautifully explained to us where I'm studying that I had એક જાતનો એક ભાવ જ થઈ ગયો કે ના અમારે આ પ્રભુને જાણવું છે વધારે ને વધારે. Then one of my relative was doing this Vallabh Vedant course from the university. She used to keep on insisting me that you join the class. I said I won't be able to join because I cannot come to the university every Saturday, Sunday and attend the class and everything. But since I came to know that it is online and during this lockdown, so I joined. I said there's no harm in joining. But once I joined, I felt that there is no looking back. It's the beautiful thing. And now I just read books which are related to Pushti Marg, more about all the things, how I will understand more and more about Vallabhacharya's books and his philosophies. That is the only thing which is interesting me nowadays. It's happened like that. So I'll always request all the youngsters to actually look into it once, and you will really know the very beautiful philosophy which our Vallabhacharya is teaching us. And if we don't do it, we may miss something in our life. That's all. Thanks.
I think there is another question from DA. I just want to answer that. DA Kansara says or asks that does the Dashavatar concept relate to Darwin's evolution theory? DA, that's a great question. Though it would not be good to dive deeper in today's session, but it's a great question, and we definitely look forward in going into the details of such questions in the follow-up sessions, following sessions after this session. So we have lots of great sessions coming up on science and religion theme. And Nupur will be going through what's next in a couple of minutes after this Q&A. So hang on, and we should have the themes and the sessions that we're going to take up as part of the science and religion theme. So great question. Keep it up, Zay, and we look forward to discussing that question even more in more details. Thank you.
Sorry, just a second.
Nupur, do you want to take up another question in the list?
Is there another question? I'm trying to look for it. So someone asked, yes, how Vallabh Vedanta can be learned. So I think what Bhavin mentioned earlier would have cleared your questions, and like you can also come to this learning series where we'll discuss various resources, study materials, and how we can broaden our knowledge on Vallabhacharya's theories. And like Mumbai University, they've set out a beautiful syllabus for us to learn Vallabh Vedanta very systematically. Now, what we do is we get some concept here from that YouTube video, from that another YouTube video, or someone's WhatsApp university, or we get something from a book or something. But to really study your subject, it's important that you learn it in a systematic way, which can form a strong foundation to get a better understanding on the principles that follow after. So I would encourage you all to join the course if you have that possibility. Are there any other questions?
I guess the question was how to join, and so the answer to that question is we will send you the details on how to register those courses in detail in a separate email to all, or we could also post it in WhatsApp group that we are all on. So we're happy to provide the registration details so that you can get the next steps on registering to this course. So point very well taken. Thank you.
Okay.
Vishwa, do you have a question?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just wanted to take a little bit of like a step back because I am very new to this. And one of the things that like I remember walking into my first day of like university biology, and I was taught that you can't believe in religion or that God has created all of the living beings, and also believe in evolution, the change that it's caused by just the environment that these people, these species are living in. So I just wanted to ask maybe like Nupur, like how did you work towards decreasing that internal bias that you had, because it's largely what we've been taught growing up?
Absolutely. That's a very good question, actually, Vishwa. And for me, like, I have had like, very emotional, like a roller coaster journey here. I was raised in a very religious family, strong followers of Pushti Marga. And when I was 18, I rejected everything. I was like, I cannot perceive God. I cannot see, smell, or touch him. why should I believe in something that is not perceivable? And so for a lot of years, I just stopped all the practices that were taught to me while growing up. And then we all have some life-changing incidents. And for me, it was an accident that happened, left me some marks here and there. And that kind of led me to look internally. Like, there were so many things that are happening around me that were not very conducive to my mental health. And so when I started looking internally, okay, I'm alive, all the energies, everything, all the things that is going on in my body, the physiological processes, involuntary physiological processes, where is that energy coming from? It's a very strong source of energy. And so it started from looking within. And the things that we have been taught in school, like I was mentioning earlier, they restrict us from having an open mind. So it didn't happen for me in over a night. Like, it took me 6 years actually to come back to Pushti Marga after I started looking within. I did not think this is where I would land, like back to my own roots. That's where the journey led me. So having patience and being open to what is coming, like talking to more people who are inclined in the subject, who know more about the subject, and asking questions, being inquisitive, being curious. And it's about, like, it's even if you don't have to become a devout follower. It's just about how can it help you in your day-to-day life. So be open, and answers will come. Biases will kind of you'll break the biases. I hope that answers your question, at least vaguely. Okay, great.
I think, Vishwa, I just want to add one thing there. Just one. That what you said, I'm really surprised that somebody actually in the university would say something like, don't believe, because that's similar in my understanding to what we saw last year in US, especially. There were a lot of people who said there is no corona, it doesn't exist, it's all hoax because we don't see it. Now we know that it does exist, right? You don't see it, but it does exist. I mean, it's just similar to those people who are just removing this whole corona thing as a hoax because you don't see it. So yeah, I mean, any sort of closed-mindedness is not going to help anywhere in life. Forget spirituality or religion. So sorry, just wanted to say that.
Because our logics are based on things that we already know. And this, again, so much we already don't know. So, logic has its limitations. Great. Any more questions?
Hey guys, it's Hansal. Can I just jump in for a quick second?
Yes, please.
Yeah, so great discussion. Firstly, I'm sorry I joined in late, but the way so I too have joined this course about a couple of years ago, and again, I couldn't resound it any better way than what Jigna Ben or what Bhavin said, that we are beneficiaries of Corona, even though there have been obviously victims of it too, unfortunately. But I'll just tell you, let aside the concept of God and all these religious part of this whole course. What I just benefited from, to be very honest with you, is that it initiated an area of inquiry for me, and that area of inquiry led me into understanding our own texts a little better, which later on I found out were essentially nothing but instruction manuals to ourselves. Right? How do we understand ourselves better? How do we think better? And when you go to, when we actually approach this whole concept from, Vallabh Vedant's point of view, then that is nothing but, I think what Nupur said was, it's basically an interactive system of structured learning. So we know where to start from. I mean, things are kind of explained to us from the ground up, right? Because no one really expects you to come in, being a PhD in this. All of us have, a common area of inquiry as to, who am I, what is the concept of God, and what am I doing with it? And in a great way, what this also does is, apart from build up on, your spiritual quotient, it just makes you a better thinker, because effectively this is nothing but philosophy. I mean, scriptures are nothing but works of, philosophical understanding of, various aspects of the universe. So I have greatly benefited from this. And I must say that this group that we are in, I mean, we've been very lucky to have this group under, the guidance of Shamu Baba and, authoritarians in this field who otherwise we would have never gotten access to this. So I strongly encourage everyone on this platform to, really make an attempt to understand this better, because eventually it is just going to make our life a whole lot better. And that is one thing I will assure you. So yeah, that's my 2 bits on this.
Any other questions?
I think that someone, I think Vaibhav has asked you a question. Nopur, you would like to, it was specifically
I
addressed to you.
don't see that question actually.
So he's asking, you said we should think like a scientist and not like a philosopher or politician or preacher. Why cultivate our minds to think in a particular way and not in a way which our experiences take us? And I'll be happy to take that question, but it was specifically addressed to you, so
I can take that question. So it was so I was not talking about not thinking like a philosopher. I was talking about most of us think like politicians or prosecutors or preachers. So it was in the context of conducting healthy debates, like we can cultivate the kind of thought processes that we want. Don't discourage from that, but the popular thought process is like when you're having a discussion or a debate with someone, it would be directed towards, oh, this is how I think, you should think like this, this is how I think and what you're thinking is wrong, or this is how I may or may not think, but it is going to benefit me from you thinking this way, what I am trying to tell you. So scientists, they generally believe that, okay, yeah, like I got a wrong answer, maybe I believe in the wrong thing, I would be happy to find out something new. So it was on the context of debate, not like everything. I don't know if does that answer your question? Do you, like, Dhawal Bhai can add to that if it doesn't.
Yeah, I'd like to add a little bit more to that question. Primarily it was, this is a great question, by the way, I love the question. Definitely, we should not restrict ourselves to only specific branches of knowledge. We should definitely increase the dimensionality of considering various different branches of knowledge. So it is a multidimensional approach. At the same time, to your point, like why not base on our experiences? Well, I could argue that experiences could also be error prone. Right? Not all experiences convey the real facts, right? Because they are governed by our sensory organs. And there's a whole lot of different science behind like how sensory organs work. So for example, while I work at Amazon on machine learning problems, solving using artificial intelligence, most of the time I get questioned like, you're solving a particular problem using a computer, and computer making a smart, intelligent decision. What's the guarantee that computer is thinking right? What's the guarantee that the computer is not biased against a gender, male or female? What's the guarantee that computer has unprejudiced programming built into that? We talk about Twitter, we talk about Facebook's rules of how the algorithm works, whether to flag a tweet or not flag a tweet, right? There are a whole lot of arguments and whole lot of a different discussion that has taken place in social media about that. But essentially what I'm trying to say is, even though you build a unbiased, you try to make your computer algorithms as much unbiased as possible, there's always a chance that you have that prejudice, or you always have a chance that you have a bias in there. And same goes to your experiences as well. You don't know for sure that your experiences are for sure conveying the right information to you, right? Because they are primarily governed, as I said, like maybe your sensory organs. So I think that's a great question. And we are going to dive deeper into that aspect of that question in the follow-up sessions as part of the science and religion. And the idea is we are going to take a holistic approach. We are going to start with at least 4 dimensions to start with, to consider all the different branches of knowledge, including science, religion, philosophy, and art.
एक minute. Hello. Yeah, Dhaval, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah. So your answer was really nice, and like it opened a can of worms basically for me. So it's like, who do I trust now? Who do I don't? So yeah, hopefully in the following up sessions it will get a little clearer.
Yeah, I know it's a great topic, and we don't have a best and one answer to that question, but I would just end that way, that we need a holistic approach, and we need a multidimensionality in learning all these concepts. So that is coming up. Stay tuned for that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you.
Okay, fantastic. Are there any more questions? Okay, great. So then on to the next slide. Mitesh Uncle, do you want to go through the next steps?
Yeah, okay. Thank you everyone for the great questions. I just would like to take 2 minutes before I jump to these slides right now. I think we are talking about knowledge, right? Everybody's knowledge is very key, particularly in whether we study any subject. If you have a knowledge, you will definitely enjoy the subject, and also you also relish the subject. Everybody know that in their study career, as well as if you're a profession, right? If you know what you're doing basically, and you will enjoy definitely, and you will relish. The key is knowledge, right? And then also when we know the games, example, everybody know cricket right now, right? આપણે બધા ક્રિકેટ જાણીએ છીએ. ક્રિકેટના આપણને કશું જાણ પણ ના હોય. If you don't know cricket, we won't enjoy it. Same thing. આપણે જાણવું, knowledge is one thing, and use it is different thing. So it is very key that we should know fact about it. Like if we watch any movie, we know who are the actors, what are the characters, right? It's very important. Knowledge is very important. Even in a cell phone, like new cell phone are coming up, you would like to know the features. The more you use the feature, you will enjoy it and relish the cell phone. I think then why not Pushti mark, right? It's very important that everywhere we do day-to-day activities, if you have knowledge, you enjoy and actually relish the stuff. So it's very key. So why not Pushti mark? Welcome to this platform, everybody, to learn and enhance our understanding about the Pushti mark, to enjoy and relish it, what we do. At the same time, actually, it will probably provide us the confidence in ourselves. When we know the subject, we will be confident in that subject. If we know anything about it, now let's confidence in ourselves. That is a very important stuff. So I would definitely welcome everybody. Now I'm going to jump to this next step. That the first session is going to be based on what we receive the feedback. It's going to be science and religion. This is a very interesting topic. 70% of the participants, they like to actually discuss this science religion. I also love this subject, and definitely this is a very important subject for everybody nowadays. Whether religious theory coexists or science theory coexists, how much they are interdependent, are they independent, whether there are any conflicts or not conflicts. This is a great subject we should discuss before jumping to the Pushti mark. I think it's better to have a definition of science, better to have a religion or definition of religion to understand first how these things happen, whether they contradict or whether they are not contradict. So definitely we are looking forward for this first session, interactive session on May 15th, Sunday. We'll definitely, the subject matter will be available at the time to take your question, and more detail will be coming soon on WhatsApp group. We're definitely looking forward for volunteers. આપણે વોલન્ટરી ખાસી બી જરૂર છે actually next step in the we all learn together. We all need to actually learn and enhance our understanding about the Pushti mark. So let's start with science and religion. That's the basic topic, and everybody loves to actually discuss about their views. And I think I would like to actually
Actually,
you,
Mitesh
everyone.
Uncle, 1 second, sorry. Oh, you, I thought you were already unclosing the surprise. Sorry. Dhawal Bhai wanted to conduct a poll.
Yeah, we'll come to that later on,
Okay,
but I
okay.
wanted to add on to what Mitesh Bhai has said, and I want to address what Aryan Parikh has also asked a question on that. So Aryan and all, the next session is going to be focused on science and religion, as Mitesh Bhai emphasized. Now, what in particular about that? That's a broad topic, right? We are going to start with a small topic related to science and religion theme. And the way we intend to run that session is through a group discussion format. So we'll be breaking out the audience into 3 or 4 people in smaller groups. We'll break out that and we'll have a group discussion on that topic. No prerequisites, there are no prerequisites, nothing is, no knowledge or nothing, no prep is required to be part of that session. So just come like as if you don't know anything, or if you know things, yeah, you can bring your knowledge and you can ask those questions. But we are going to run that session. We are going to give you a surprise topic, which is not going to be that hard to discuss in a group. And then we will have a subject matter expert moderating the group discussion, the smaller group discussion groups. And in that, we will collectively learn the conclusion part. So I hope that would give that gives you a little bit of an overview of the next session. However, we have a whole lot of different sessions lined up on science and religion theme with the right subject matter expert. So I hope that answers your question as well, Aryan. I want to just take some time to just ask that confirmation from you, Aryan.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Pardon me to interject here, Mitesh Bhai. Please continue.
Thank you very much for asking questions. It's very, I think our goal is to have a very interactive session. We have to have a two-way communication. I think we would like to learn from you guys. We would like to actually get your question and have that interactive session go on the next time. So we'll have fun understanding about the science and religions. So I would like to actually, first of all, thank you everyone for this participation. It's a great discussion. Feel free to actually post your question in WhatsApp so we can actually get the next session very exciting. And after બધા enjoy કરીશું and definitely before I conclude the session right now, I would like to invite a special guest, Pujyasri Shyam Manohar Goswami, to actually say something end of the session. Thank you very much.
Baba, you can feel free to come online or turn on our video.
Yes. Hello. Do you listen me?
Yes, we can hear you. We can see you.
So I welcome all the participants and congratulate all of you. And before switching over to any other suggestion, 3 things I would like to suggest. First, that in our discussion, we should not consider any question as a stupid question. The answer can be stupid. Question can never be stupid. I don't believe that question can be stupid. Question is a question. When you want to know something, it is verbalized in the form of question. So to know something is not a sign of stupidness. It is a sign of intelligence. Secondly, switching over to the discussion of science and religion, science also means experience. If you go into etymology of the science, experience in our day-to-day vocabulary also means we do not call it science, but it is experience. And the philosophy, whether based on the rationalism or based on the idealism or based on some verbal information, all of these are different varieties of the experiences. And what we are supposed to do, analyze our experience so that we can understand experience in true sense of the term. And then we should juxtapose our understanding with our experience. That is it merely vagary or imagination, or has it some concrete support of experience? So the experience, understanding, and the implementation of that in behavior. All these 3 points make a one grid. So nothing can be totally relied exclusively, and nothing can be totally neglected or refuted, because they play their part in circuit like a network. So before switching over to the discussion of science and religion, I hope that you should keep this in your mind. And I have been teaching to Vallabh Vedant, but I found you, all of you, better speaker than me. So I congratulate you from my heart. Thank you.
Thank you, Bhavashri. Really appreciate you taking some time out from your busy schedule and talking to the people here and nurturing we people, youth people, right? So I really appreciate you stepping in, and we hope that you'll keep guiding us through the journey. Thank you very much.
That will be a pleasure of mine.
Thank you. Nupur, do you want to take over the agenda? Next step.
Yeah, so we spoke about the next steps earlier. Thank you so much, JJ, for beautiful.
I'll be conscious before teaching Nupur. You are so good speaker.
I've learned so much from JJ. Every
topic in such a nice way. I must congratulate you.
Thank you, JJ. Your blessings only. So next steps, as Mitesh Uncle mentioned, we would be doing the next session on May 15th, and it would be very interactive. We'll do group discussions, and we'll have the subject matter experts on the topic of science, religion, philosophy, art, and volunteers. Please reach out. We can definitely use everyone's help. And thank you so much all for taking the time and being here and participating. And thank you for all the amazing questions. We only hope that this would expand more into a beautiful bond between all of us, where we can learn, grow, evolve together. And I very much look forward to seeing you all, and hopefully more people. So ask your family, friends, whoever could actually enjoy or benefit from this session to be part of the next session. And I think we are on the beginning of a beautiful journey here together.
And last thing I want to add is please take a poll. I have launched the poll in Zoom. I'll appreciate all your feedback so that we can improve next time. We want to raise our bar in improving the experiences. So please take the poll, which I have launched on Zoom. And for those who have already answered the poll, Great job. Thank you very much. And we will follow up with all the action items that we got out of this session. Some of you have already asked how to register Vallabh course. We'll definitely send out the details through the email and WhatsApp. And we'll definitely keep track of all those great questions. Please keep them coming over to us, and we'll address those questions eventually, if not today, in the follow-up sessions. Yes, Pratiksha, it seems like you have a question there. Pratiksha.
Bye.
I'm so sorry.
Bye.
So sorry. There's been a little bit of traveling noise behind me. First of all, I would really like to thank you and the team to bring JJ, Pranam JJ. Heard a lot of things about you through
Not audible. You're not audible, Pratiksha.
Give me a second. I'm sorry. Am I audible right now?
Yes.
Okay. Pranam JJ. It's been a pleasure to meet you on this platform. Firstly, thank you, Nupur, and the entire team to give this a surprise, a good surprise. I have only heard about JJ a lot of times, and his insights and knowledge through Nupur, but today I get to see him, and it was a wonderful, wonderful surprise. For me, it's a first session to learn about philosophy and Vedas, but passively for 1 year, I would say whatever JJ has shared his knowledge, I have learned through Nupur. I'm definitely looking forward to learn more and more about this. And one thing that JJ mentioned, his first point, that question cannot be foolish, it cannot be stupid. I certainly agree to it. Knowledge is limitless. So it was an amazing, amazing thing. Looking forward to have more and more things from you. Please do share the link for next session, and thank you. Have a wonderful day and night.
Thank you.
JJ, you're muted. I think you're saying something. You're muted. Wait. You're muted.
Yeah, somebody please unmute Baba.
Okay.
I guess
He'll have to do it there.
Yeah. Yeah. Is anybody there with Baba who can help him unmute? No?
No.
Well, oh, there you go. There you go. Yes, Baba. Please go ahead.
No, I was just inquiring, wondering whether Bendre is a Gujarati surname or Maharashtrian surname.
JJ, it's Maharashtrian, so I'm Marathi. But I would also share something. My family is about they learn more about Guru Dutt, and they learn about Guru Dutt and Ganesh, and this is what they are currently doing. But for me, I have always kept my knowledge open. It's not limit. It doesn't comes with limit, and it's limitless. That's why I'm here. I heard a lot of things.
There was a great modern artist whom I love too much, Bendre.
Yeah, Sonali Bendre is
Vadodara.
what you're talking. Oh,
No.
okay.
No, I'm not talking about Sonali Bendre.
Okay.
There was a great artist, painter, Bendre.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. I do know about that artist. Yes.
Yeah.
So
He was in MS University.
oh, okay. I didn't know about it. So pleasure to meet you, JJ.
So am I.
And
So am I.
thank you so much for sharing your insights and knowledge through this session and through Nupur as well, whatever I've heard about you.
Thank you. Goodbye now.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone joining, and we'll send out the next steps to you all. Thank you very much for joining.
Thank you. We'll see you
Feel
next
free
time.
to share. Feel free to share your experience on WhatsApp and how we can make this next session very interactive. Mostly the visual slides we are targeting, so that everybody can see and how that thing's happening. So we are looking for volunteers as well. So feel free to share your thoughts on the WhatsApp group. Thank you.